Before we begin, thank you very much to iSolder74 for joining the Patreon campaign. Thank you very much. Very, very appreciated. So, thank you everyone for everything you've been doing. Obviously, like, we cleared 700 for the third month in a row, which means we are doing all of Transformers Prime. We're going to start that in July, so I don't burn myself out going, doing like constant 2-video-a-day schedule. That was rough. Not gonna lie. So we're gonna take a break. Then we're gonna pick up on it in July. I might do some of it as watch parties on Discord exclusively for patrons. So if you want to tune into that, you gotta follow the Patreon campaign and be in my Discord. So there you go. There's the plan, tentatively for now. All right. We are doing the news roundup for the week, and guess what? Rise the Beasts releases this week, so big shock. We've got a ton of news that we have to go through. Once again, there's a million commercials dropping, each with a few seconds more footage. I'm at the point where the movie is close enough that I'm going to avoid pretty much every commercial, so we're not including them here. And pretty much every commercial is going to spoil at least a little bit of the movie at this point. So, yeah. You can go find them yourself if you're curious. We're going to be talking about a lot more of the toy-centric stuff. Courtesy of our usual leaker, JT Prime 17 over at TFW 2005, we have some new listings, which are highly fascinating. So, these are all for Generation Legacy Uni, the third year of our current trilogy of series. And we still don't know what Uni means. Unite, United, Unity... Unicron I've heard, but that's highly unlikely since there's no Unicron indication of any kind. Universe I think is the obvious one here. They've used Universe a lot. But we have some new ones. To look forward to. First off, a G1 Deluxe Prime. Now, remember, a lot of times you ask, why would they make an Optimus Deluxe in Legacy? Well, really, they're just trying to keep big names in those rotations, so retailers like buying those case assortments. It's marketing 101. Give the retailers what they want to see in the product that you sell them. The most interesting to me is probably the Voyager Cybertron Vector Prime. There was a rumor listing before with a Cyber Starscream, and we didn't know if it was Cybertron or Cyberverse. I think this would cement it that we're getting Cybertron Starscream, which makes me super happy. But a new Vector Prime too. I think Vector Prime is one of those characters I mentioned. Like, we haven't seen them in a long time, and we really need to see them again. So we're going to. Legacy's bringing them back. Very deserved. I'm kind of hoping that's. I have a lot of hopes, but we got a lot. Let's move on. Let's not drag this out. Armada Galvatron's a repaint. Obviously, it's going to be a repaint of the Megatron. That's pretty obvious. Voyager Origin Wheeljack, which has me curious. I feel like, is he actually going to be large enough for the Origins Bumblebee to fit inside the rear of the vehicle mode? I severely doubt that. He'd have to be pretty big for that for a Voyager, even if you account for like expanding and like lots of panels collapsing to make his legs and whatnot. I think this is going to be closer to the Ironhide, like 86 Ironhide, where he's a little bit bigger and a little bit more complicated than a Deluxe, but they're still like charging you for Voyager price on it. And then we have Magnus and Boulder Crash, which is the Deluxe Rock and the Core Class Rock. We saw these leaked listings earlier without names attached to them. Yeah, Legacy Year 3, we're getting Rock Lords. I mean, I think that's pretty obvious at this point. We're getting new Rock Lords. It's crazy. It's crazy how this works, but this is the state of Transformers. We get to do whatever we want, and we get to be wild with it. So feel free to speculate away. There's some really exciting stuff coming up. Let's continue. This got dropped on us out of nowhere. I didn't have this on any of my previews. We're getting another Jurassic Park set. See, this one is the Decepticon Dilophocon, which is a terrible name, versus Autobot JP-12, which is an even worse name. This is based on the scene where Nidri, the computer guy that steals all the samples, gets got by a spitter. That's purely a Jurassic Park thing. It's not accurate to how any of this actually works for the real dinosaur. But it makes for an interesting set. So let's see. Let's look at the clean images here. Yeah, our Dilophosaur is a little bit jank. He's a little bit jank. The Jeep looks cool. The Jeep looks cool, and then the robot modes both look nice. You can see he is molded to look like Nedry, which is really weird. Which is really weird. He has his can of Barbasol. That's such a random accessory to include. It's gonna be interesting. This Jeep might come out before the Buzzworthy Hound that we saw months ago, which is ironic. And also, everyone is already speculating what this Dilophosaur is going to be repainted into or remolded into. A lot of people call Iguanas. It'd be funny. It'd be funny if Iguanas of all characters randomly had a new deluxe. This set is $75, which is way overpriced for 2 deluxes. And that's when you realize that not only is the Jurassic Park license expensive, but so is licensing it in a way that Mattel is happy letting Transformers do it. So that's kind of a wait for it to go on sale, I would say. That seems a more appropriate choice. Takara randomly decided to do something super random. So this is based on the JAXA. I don't even know if you pronounce that as one word. I've never had to do it. But this is a Toyota concept lunar cruiser. The idea is that this is what you'd cart around in on the moon when there's such a thing as tourist travel to the moon. It's a completely new Optimus Prime mold from the foot to the head. No reused parts that I can see. Very interesting transformation. Very, very weird choice. Like, I don't mind it. It's interesting. But, man, it's one of the weirder Optimus Primes. So this is being crowdfunded by Takara, and apparently it's a rough translation, but there's nothing indicating that it's going to be exclusive to the crowdfunding campaign. Supposedly, if this actually gets funded, we are going to get a full retail release at some point. So this might not be too hard to track down. It's weird, and it's interesting, and it's something that I wish Takara would do more often. It's kind of cool. Takara also does Masterpiece, and we have very clear shots now of Masterpiece Hoist, who does look quite good as a remold of Trailbreaker. The paunch fits him a lot better than it does Breaker, so I'm happy about that. He comes with a lot of extra accessories. He comes with extra hands, so you can have hands instead of the gun arm. Big crane arm, yep, got that. Truck mode looking good, got all his junk in the back, got his mask. We've seen a lot of this before, but seeing it nice and clear now helps out a lot too. And the same goes for Kaen, the Masterpiece Train Bot. He is thick. He is dummy thick. And he has to be. He is the butt of Raiden. He has to lug everyone around. He is the bridge between the upper and lower halves. He doesn't look like he suffers too much from it, aside from just being like super heavy in the aesthetic. He doesn't really form much. Look at this. Like, almost all of this just goes into, like, almost his entire body is kibble. And the only part that actually connects to Raiden is this tiny piece here. It's weird. It's a really weird choice. Yeah, and okay, I guess it works. He just has this massive butt hanging off of him. Vehicle mode looks fine. Vehicle mode looks good. And there's the final form for Raiden. Now, let's talk elephant in the room here. Raiden itself, I don't know. I just do not like how Raiden looks. There's so much kibble. There's so much panel. It really doesn't represent the G1 character very well. Just because it's so dumpy and thick, it really doesn't get the aesthetic that the original Raiden was nailing. And I think going anime accurate with the color scheme takes a lot of the flair away. He looks really dull in the midsection. Like the orange on the original toy, I think would really help that. Yeah, the more I hear about Raiden, it seems like every time I hear about Raiden, it's because someone else is broke. So I think I'm not really my confidence in this as a full set once it's complete and all 6 are out is very, very low. If you have all 6 though, you can get this really nice display set. Now this is a box that can come with Kaen, but it does not come with the others. It is simply for those who want a collector's box to store their Raiden in, which is a weird choice for Takara to do. But hey, let's you know what. I can't fault them. I can absolutely see where that would be something someone would want. All right. It's pre-order out there. Let's look at some leaked toys. Someone got their hands on the upcoming Legacy Shadow Striker, and man, is it disappointing. Okay, so aside from the fact that it's symmetrical, so it really doesn't get the Cyberverse vibes that I was hoping for, it is very obviously meant to be a Sideburn retool. Great for RID fans. Okay, cool, we're getting a new Sideburn toy. It shouldn't be as annoying or frustrating to transform as the original, but it is very, very obvious what they were going for here. Design-wise, I'm not a fan of how boxy it is in the chest. I really wish that was shaped differently. It doesn't look bad, but man, it really just does feel like Shadow Striker is just like a throwaway until they get around to doing Sideburn properly. And I hate pre-tools like that, where it's like you can tell that this was not the original character that they intended for, and it really just feels like they're forced in. The vehicle mode looks cool, don't get me wrong. Vehicle mode looks nice. You know, I'm waiting for a proper representation of Shadow Striker, and it did not happen here. It does harken back to her origins. The original Shadow Striker was a retool of Sideburn, so I'll give it that much credit. It's still weird. It's still weird, and it just kind of leaves me, once again, kind of wishing they just did the character properly, and that's disappointing. Oh well. Oh, maybe next time. Oh well, it still looks okay, though. It still looks okay. Buzzworthy Optimus is now in hand, so we can actually get a good look at it and get good comparisons. It does still look really, really good. I still think it's a really weird choice to make it Buzzworthy exclusive when it's the main Optimus Prime for the new movie, but hey, it's what it is. It looks pretty solid. It's got someone put these comparison shots to other primes, and I don't even know which primes they are. There it is next to the Gamer Edition, so it's got height on it. Not the bulk, but definitely the height. So it's going to be a proper Voyager class toy. The one thing I wish I had a comparison shot of is there is next to Scourge, Scourge being kind of lanky for a leader class. The one thing I wish I had is a comparison with the Core Series Optimus, because that's the one that's going to be easier to find at retail. Or maybe not. Target might flood the market with these. But no, looks good. Looks good. You can definitely see, like, compared to the Core release, that silver in the middle helps so much. It helps so much. Rise of the Beast toy spotted in Thailand. The Beast Alliance Airazor's coming out. A Beast Battle Master. Okay, for number one, no surprise. No surprise Airazor would get one of these. What is a surprise is that it just seems to be a gun. It looks like you just flip her tail feathers down, and that makes her some kind of big bow gun. That's such a letdown. Like, the wings are ball jointed. Why isn't she a sword? Why isn't she some awesome, like, double-bladed sword? I don't, it seems so cheap. It seems so, like, lacking. Like, some of these are really imaginative, and some others are like, you flip a tail out of the cat. You know, I don't know. I know. This is the one time where I wish, like, it would just turn into a sword like the Cheetor does. And no, it does not do that. Oh, well. All right. So, a toy company. Okay, so you remember, like, so there's a flying fairies trend a while back with, like, flying toys. They're based on, well, here's the thing. The origin is, in the 90s, you had a toy line called Sky Dancers, which were, like, little fairies. It's girls. It's a girl's toy with, like, flying fairies. And then boys had dragonflies, which was the boys' version. Transformers is getting the same thing. A toy company called Character Options is going to produce them. And it's going to be, yeah, you're going to get a handle, a toy that stands on top, and you spin it, and it's going to spin around and fly in the air. Very strangely, I cannot, aside from like maybe Airazor, if there's an Optimus Prime or Megatron that does this, I will laugh so hard. I will laugh so hard because it makes literally no sense for them. But no, it's going to be one of those oddball ones for, for you random oddball collectors to look out for. For something less odd, all right, the model kit company 4i Model is doing their Hound figure. We have these full, very nice color images of the final product. Hound getting like a weird eye scope thing, which is kind of an odd choice, but then again, they kind of just do their own thing with the designs here. He is very thick shouldered, thick-legged, and tiny torsos, which I'm not sure I like that aesthetic. But it's going to be an interesting G1 Hound for people who are into, like, who want a more buff version of the classic character. Here you go. Or if you just really like the 4i Model kits. They are very good. They are very, very good kits. All right. For other weird collections, more Minimates for Transformers coming out. These are called VHS Minimates. So, based on the 86 movies, so Ultra Magnus, Hot Rod, Thundercracker, who, was famous for how long he was in the movie for, and what they're calling Stasis Lock Optimus Prime, so they do not have to call him Dead Optimus Prime. Minimates Transformers have been a thing for quite a while now, and they still just keep chugging along, so if you are a collector, here you go. We got a little bit more on the way. They don't look bad. They're not my thing, but, they don't look bad. I do know people collect them, so I'm sure they'll buy these up. All right. Let's go for the more expensive line. ThreeZero officially showed off their Rise of the Beast Bumblebee, who does look absolutely spectacular. Lots of detail, lots of paint going into these things. What I love is the door options here. You can see where they're split open to look more like proper Bumblebee wings. There are other you get the arm cannon, you get light up eyes. Can I see the other options? Okay, you get the face mask, red eyes. Okay, here we go. Here's what I like. So you get the wings, you get the door wings in like the vintage like Bayverse design, or you can drop them down to be like the Bumblebee movie design, or you can split them in the middle to be this more unique aesthetic, which is a really cool. I love display options like that. Beyond that, this thing is incredibly articulated, very well detailed and painted, and way out of my price range for something that does not transform. I've never had the chance to experience a ThreeZero figure, but I've heard nothing but good things. If I was interested in a non-transforming Transformer, I would probably go for at least one or two just to see what it's about. If you want a closer look, they did do a video that showed off their Optimus and their Bumblebee, and they also showed off the prototype for their Optimus Primal that's coming out as well. Always great to see like early looks like this. It looks like it's going to be as good as the others. It's bigger than the others. It scales to the others properly. Yeah, it looks great. It looks out of my price range. But other than that, it's cool that it is out there. Speaking of Rise of the Beast, we officially have the runtime, so you know how much you have to dedicate of your life to this movie this week. 126 minutes, 57 seconds, so just a little over 2 hours, which, you know what, I've been through some slogs in these Transformers movies that I felt went way too long, so you know what, 2 hour, get me in and out in 2 hours, okay, I can handle that. I wouldn't like. I like the run times I heard earlier, which were like just under 2 hours better, but we'll see. We'll see. It's a big blockbuster movie, so we'll get what we get, I guess. If you want something else to watch, in certain parts of the world, you can actually see Transformers Earthspark on Netflix. Apparently, it's shown up on the servers in the UK and South America, not available in the US though. So if you want Netflix over Paramount Plus, etc., then we might have an option. Now, this could be a licensing thing. It's pretty common for Netflix to pick up like exclusive series for other streaming platforms that aren't available in other countries. So I do not know if that is the case here or if we really are getting Earthspark on Netflix at some point in America. Regardless, more access to this show is not a bad thing. It is a really good show, and I really wish more people would give it a chance instead of just writing it off like it was one of the last Transformer series. The last few Transformer cartoons have been very much overtly aimed at kids, but they've still been pretty good, and I think Earthspark is one of the best shows we've ever gotten. So, yeah, give it a shot. Give it a shot if you haven't. If this opens up the accessibility to you, give it a shot. I think it's worth your time. So, do you have a 3D printer and you want free stuff for Rise of the Beast? Well, they've actually got that for you. So, there are 2 free models that you can get printed for your 3D printer right now. One of them is this tiny bust of Optimus Primal's head, complete with stand. Yeah, this is a very well done 3D print. They show it on the bed of your standard printer, but this looks like it was done in resin, or professionally polished, which it probably was because we're talking toy companies here. But yeah, if you want just a little bust of Primal's head, you can have that now. And then let's see, what else do we have? We have this. A one-print Optimus Primal in Gorilla mode that you can just hang around anywhere. One-print things are fun, so it's multiple parts, but they all print themselves together. You don't have to worry about assembly. You just take it off the print bed and just goof around with it, which is kind of cool. So it's really cool of them to give these kind of things away. That's actually really neat. I might give this a swing, so to speak, later, and just see how my 3D printer turns it out. Alright, now, eHobby exclusive, G1 packaging acrylic stands and super deformed keychains. I've never really understood the acrylic stand thing. It just feels like space that could be taken up by something that actually is a real thing, and not just a print on plastic. But I know it's an affordable way for some people to just have an image of a character or a logo or something displayed on their desk. So I guess I kind of get it, even maybe kind of not. It's just not my thing. I do like the idea of just getting a nice backdrop of the original G1 art. I'd love that just for photos, please. So if you're into these kind of things, it is available. Now the keychains are obviously a little bit more usable. So this I would be more into if they have the right characters. They got Drift and Deadlock. Interesting choice. We've got you've got Grand Convoy. You've got Grand Scourge here. A Grand Scourge here rather than just normal Black Convoy. You have Pretenders. What? You have Pretender characters? Thunderwing? Really? That's some random character choices for these keychains. But hey, if you're into it, hey, obscure is good. It's good when obscure characters get interesting stuff. Speaking of interesting stuff, you can get a Metrocard that is Rise of the Beast based now if you need to keep track of your. Yeah, this is going to be a thing for a while. Now that the movie is almost upon us, yeah, you're going to see lots more of these weird little things popping up, just with random brands with random Transformer logos printed on them because movie tie-in. But hey, whatever promotes it, right? Meanwhile, Rise of the Beast is going to be crossing over with Roblox for a collaboration. I'm not a Roblox player, and this is not going to get me into it. But it's cool that something that's this popular is getting an official Transformers thing. Yeah, limited time. It's I believe, it says it ends in 12 days, so you have just under a week to get in on this, or under 2 weeks if you're a Roblox person. Yeah, again, not for me, but kind of cool that they got in there. Yeah, more looking into the Fortnite collab, to be honest. Now, if you're the kind that can afford some of the things we talk about on News Roundup, like expensive model kits and super high-end figures and statues, you might be the kind who also golfs. And now you have something just for you. So, Bettinardi, I believe is the company name. I'm not a golfer. I don't know these companies, but they're producing golf accessories for Transformers. That includes little covers for your clubs, and it includes branded putters, and what I assume is their company mascot done up like Optimus Prime. I hope that is, and not them just doing some weird wizard robot. Yeah, and then you get putter with like Bumblebee on it and all that. Super random little like crossover thing, but I assume there's golf enthusiasts who are also Transformers fans, so good for you. You've got something for you on the way. Okay, I guess. Congrats. And to finish us off, if you want an activity for kids, or if you just want to work on your own lessons, there's a video out for art lessons for kids about how to draw Cheetor from Rise of the Beasts, and it's fun to get simple things like this for kids to be able to get invested in and just be able to like interact with. It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. So like this, I could use more of this. And hopefully this is like just step one, because there's plenty they could do. And that's the weirdest thing that came up this week, which means we've reached the end of the news roundup. Once again, very, very long because movie. After next week, the movie stuff might calm down. So we might be back to like under 20-minute videos. We will have to see. But for now, thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. Means a lot to me. Stay tuned. We've got stuff coming up this week that's really important, like a look at the YOLO Park Rise of the Beast model kits. We're going to be doing a couple videos of those, and I'm going to be doing 2 different videos for Rise of the Beast once I see the movie on Wednesday. Thursday is going to be my spoiler-free review. Friday is going to be my spoiler-filled review. So you get your flavor option there. So all that said, thank you guys for watching. I will see you next time.
We're gonna have to get your names for the books. You, Payer 1.
William Current.
Roll me a deception check.
I thought their name was Pain.
Roll a disadvantage.
Okay.
That was like the opposite of the help action there. You, Goblin.
First name D's.
Watch your tongue.